you know, how you define religion.
Yeah.
And to me, I defined it as people.
Yeah.
And people, like I said, getting to know each other to the point they could be friends to each other, they could be compassionate and caring, sympathetic, all that kind of thing. And if you couldn't do it among each other, how are you going to reach out and do it into the world where you were, in the neighborhood or at work, whatever? So that was my understanding of it. I felt at the time when I came, there was a group called the Mr. and Mrs. group.
Eminent.
But again, that wasn't the double M.
Double M.
And the younger people didn't fit very well to that because that was the way the other generation operated in terms of things and so on. And also, what I felt was that the congregation didn't know each other. They didn't really know each other, didn't play with each other, and all that kind of stuff. So we tried to devise a way that they could get to know each other. And I felt the church, if you're going to have something happen in terms of caring and compassion towards each other and be ministers to each other, they needed to know each other. And they also needed to know that was kind of where I came from in terms of my own ministry, that I wanted them to care for each other and love each other, and, you know, when people were sick, to know and to care and all that kind of thing.
I think that many people wound up with having their best friends in the church rather than their best friends in the neighborhood or at school or at work. So, yeah, it was really nice.
That was part of that.
Yeah.
I just felt the church needed to have fun and be fun, because I think so many of us came from these backgrounds. You had to be so serious, so somber, and, you know, in church that that's why a lot of people didn't want to go into a church relationship, because it just was so serious and somber and, you know, that kind of thing. So that's why I think, in my mind, the church people need to have fun. See, this is an enjoyable place to be. Like I said, I think in the beginning when I first came, there was here again, I don't like labels, but it was a very conservative type atmosphere and a fairly rigid type atmosphere. And it had some of the things of the churches had in those days. A women's group, like the deacons were split. There was a women's deacons and there were men deacons. And that was a big change, because I felt that's just not the way the world is going at this point. They're going with men and women working together, you know, to do a certain function, and deacons had a certain function. So when they came together, the church council should be a mix of men and women. The deacons should not just be men and women working separately. The women doing the, you know, all things that women were supposed to do. And the men, yeah, and men look. So in other words, I formed the men and women together in the board of deacons, and that was not an easy thing to do.
What they were looking for when they hired Terry, they wanted someone to come and heal things.
There is a certain reverence, I think, in this church building and among the people that is a quality kind of thing. At the Douglas Chapel and the sanctuary and Pilgrim Hall and so on, there's a certain beauty in it. And I've said that I think beauty is healing. So there's a lot of healing that takes place among the people, among the building itself speaks of healing. And that, to me, and the reverence of it was the thing that I felt strongly about.